I'm going to go ahead and try to do the next little section. Okay, so when I had finished reading the preface, I was reading this, her name that she had written, signature. And I said Alma Gertrude Waters for some reason. Of course, it's Watson. She grew up a little Watson girl, and then she married McGregor. So, Alma Gertrude Watson McGregor. I want to get that straight. Okay. So, I have read this to myself just in my own head. And so, I'm now trying to read this out loud, and there's some big words, and I kind of stumble. But, nicely, I have read it, and I didn't have the camera on, so I got a little practice. Okay, so this is the description. Oh, no, wait. First of all, there's a title page I want to tell you. The title page says, Lorenzo Dow Watson, Part 1, by Alma Gertrude Watson McGregor, second child of Lorenzo Dow Watson. Part 2 is by Daniel Clark Watson, Jr., grandson of Lorenzo Dow Watson. Editors, Mrs. Gertrude M. MacArthur and Mrs. Liberta M. Sorensen. Copyright 1970 by Mrs. Liberta M. Sorensen, 434 North, 200 East, Provo, Utah, 84601, and published by J. Grant Stevenson. 230 West, 1230 North, Provo, Utah, 84601, 1970. And, okay, now, I don't know geography very well, but this is a nice little geography lesson from a long time ago. It is the description of Maine. Now, Maine is where Lorenzo was born and raised a bit. Maine, the 23rd state of the Union, belonged to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts until 1820. Maine and Vermont being the only two New England states that were not among the 13 original colonies. More than half of the state is covered with forests. Pine trees were once so abundant that Maine received the name Pine Tree State. Year after year, century after century, these veterans had cast their lengthening shadows across the Saco's dark waters. Before this continent was known to the Vikings of the North, or even the sagas had been written, the bold eagle that disdained the lower altitudes perched upon the pine trees' topmost boughs. Princely patriarchal pine, fit emblem to emblazon our state's escutcheon. Of all the trees found on the banks of the Saco, none were comparable with the white pine. Some were 200 feet in height and full 6 feet in diameter. Their chronology was vast in its reach. By counting their concentric rings, it has been ascertained that some of these sentinels were 1,000 years old. There are still large growths of pine, great quantities of hemlock, spruce, birch, hard maple, beech, and white and black ash. Manufacturing is the leading industry, employing nearly 1/3 of the working population. The water power of the state has been unsurpassed and is much used in the manufacturing of cotton and woolen goods, and an immense amount amount of yarn. There are large mills manufacturing lumber and wood pulp. The smaller timber is made into boxes, spools, checkers, toys, toothpicks, and hardwood implement handles. Maine is one of the foremost states in the Union in shipbuilding. The first ship built on this continent by Englishmen was constructed near the mouth of the Kennebec River in 1608. York County is the southernmost county of the state of Maine, and the town of Limerick is situated in the northwestern part of the county, not far from New Hampshire line, and about 60 miles west of the city of Portland, the birthplace of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Limerick is irregular in outline and covers an area of about 24 square miles. It is bounded on the north by Cornish and Leamington, and on the east by Leamington, and on the south by Waterboro and Newfield, and on the west by Newfield and Parsonsfield. The surface is uneven and hilly. The hills are composed of ledges of coarse granite, traversed by larger irregular veins of quartz and feldspar. The highlands are tilled, and on the lowlands are meadows from which they get their winter hay. The staple products are corn, oats, wheat, hay, and potatoes. Maine produces more potatoes than any other state of the Union. James Sullivan, who afterward became governor of Massachusetts, was the first person to settle in Limerick. Reverend James Adams of Newfield surveyed and laid out the town in 1780. He received 3 100-acre lots for his services. He listed only 12 families there, one of which was A. Watson, a licensed Christian minister. The first recorded marriage on July 22nd, 1782, was that of Sarah Pendexter and James Miles. The Baptist and Free Will Baptists were the first churches in Limerick. Maine became a state in 1820. Now there's a little poem here that goes along with Maine. Crowning Jewel is what it's called, by W.S. McKee, Augusta, Maine. I view with pride each shining state. I marvel at their beauty, serene, glorious, and great. My homage is love's duty. Each state a jewel, the whole a crown, impressive, rich, and vast. Each state a gem of wide renown, from first unto the last. From gulf to gulf, from coast to coast, each one a precious gem, 48 and all a brilliant host, a royal diadem. A crown of states that always share a wondrous prize to gain, but brightest jewel beyond compare is the glorious state of Maine. And that's enough for today. Bye.